crazy science language and then convert it to an explanation. Okay? Convert it into something that you can understand. And there are lots of tools you can use for this. You can use the world's most powerful tool. If you get to where you can understand this stuff when you read it and figure out what it's telling you what to do, and then figure out how to do that, you are empowered in a way that most students in other schools will not be. Okay? If you can do that stuff, there are plenty of college freshmen who cannot do that stuff, folks. And I know, I've taught college freshmen. So if you can do what we're asking, and look, make no mistake about it. I said this from the beginning. In a way, this is kind of the hardest part of the task. Okay? Understanding this stuff or figuring out how to understand this stuff is not super easy. When you figure out how to do it and you get good at it, doing stuff like the presentations or doing your projects will become relatively simple by comparison. But that's the point. If you're able to read this, figure it out, understand it, even if you have a little help from us, and then make a project in which you fulfill those requirements, you are doing great. Okay? You're doing really good work. And you will be able to rip things up when you get to college. So, you still owe us these, okay? If you haven't gotten satisfactory on these, you can apply some of the lessons you learned today or the next couple of days. When we're practicing on the new ones, you can go like, oh, I should do that on those old ones. And then also you should do this on any future ones, and there will be lots of them. So, first of all, any questions about that stuff? Does anybody have any questions, including why? I don't understand why we're doing this. It may have been this class yesterday who said, wait, you mean those aren't written for us? Was that this class who said that?
Yeah, no.
Okay, because that was useful for me, thanks. Yeah, these were not written for you. These were written for your teachers. That's why I'm giving them to you. Ha-ha, flip the script. Well, because when you can do this like a teacher, huh?
That means you've done your job right.
Well, it means I've gotten some of the things that are in my head into your head, which is my job. But when you can do this well, I'll still stand by this later in the day, because I used that idea from this class. I talked and I said, you guys understand this wasn't written for you originally, right? And you guys helped me realize that. I didn't realize that. If you could do this whole book and figure out a project that would fulfill each of them, I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts that you could teach at this level after that point. Okay? Because that's one of the biggest struggles your teachers have is, how do I translate this into a way to explain it to people who haven't had it before? Okay? But since that's the sort of, I never had learned more science. And science was my favorite subject, and I was pretty good at it, and my degrees are science related. They're not science, well, they're soft science. And then there's philosophy, which is the grandfather of science. Father of science. Even given all that stuff, college educations and stuff, master's degree in soft science, I've never learned more science than when I had to go teach it to somebody else. Because then I have to go, you have to really understand something before you can try to explain it to somebody else. Like, it's pretty critical. Okay? So that's where, things get dicey. So I bet you, if you can do all this really well, if you get really serious about it, like I could really explain this to another person, even though they wouldn't let you teach it, I bet by the time you graduate, if you get good at that, you'd probably be able to teach the class, you know, as well as us. Close.
And I just want to add in, some students, when you were trying to put these into student words, you got really hung up about making everything be in the same order. It does not have to be in the same order. The goal of rewriting these is if you were talking to a 6th grade student about what you're doing in class, or if you're talking to a friend who's been out sick with the flu and they've missed 2 weeks and they're like, hey dude, what are we doing in science? That's what you're going to be doing with these NGSS. Don't get stuck on it being in the exact same order. It might take more than one sentence for you to put this into student vocabulary so that it makes more sense. That's the goal we're looking for, is you're going to take the NGSS and rewrite it using student vocabulary, not science vocabulary. It should not sound really sciencey. It's not coming from a science student. It's coming from a student, and it might take more than the one sentence.
Should take more than the one sentence. Probably.
So do we want to...
And there's one other thing. I don't know if I just talked, so I didn't know if you covered this. Here's the big problem I saw with last period. I saw one group do it fairly well. Again, we're learning how to do this, so don't flip out if you don't do it perfectly the first time. That's fine. You know, very few people can sit down at a piano and just go like, oh, I can play now, look at this. Okay, that doesn't, you know, to practice. Let's practice, it's okay. So look, here's what I saw happening a bunch. Or here's what I want to warn you against. In a minute, I'm going to assign you these sentences. Abandon the structure. What do I mean by abandon the structure? What does that mean? What, Logan?
Don't put it in the same format as it is.
Yeah, don't even put it in the same order. Go to the most important part and go like, okay, there's these things, okay? And explain that. And then go, and then you have to use those things to do this or whatever. Rearrange it. In fact, you're probably better off if you start rearranging things, because the problems we ran into last period when we did this exercise is everybody did the same thing they've been doing on these two, which is they tried to just replace word for word with some other word, which just made the whole thing awkward and confusing. Worse. Don't make it harder to understand. That's not the goal, just so I'm pretty sure. Okay? We're not trying to make it harder to understand, we're trying to make it easier to understand. Okay? You're explaining it. So, in a minute, I'm going to go around, I'm going to hold up a number, my fingers, and your whole table group is going to say that number. No, try again.
3.
Good. Good.
5.
3.
Ooh, wow, good. Louder.
4.
All of you.
4.
Thank you.
3.
I didn't see a 3 out of you. Let's try it again. Give the governor a roll. Shh, that doesn't mean everybody else starts talking. 4. Very good. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. Listen. You still need to listen. You still need to listen. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5.
Which one's 4?
This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. It's the last number.
Okay.
In a minute. Not yet. In a minute. You're going to open your Chromebooks. You're going to make a Google Doc and share it with everybody at your table.
I want to do it.
You're going to Google NGSS motion and stability, and that's going to take you to this page. And the 3s are going to take only the sentence in black. And they are going to, and let's abandon the word translate here. They are going to explain it as if you were explaining it to a 7th grader, or as if you were explaining it to a friend who hasn't been in class and doesn't have any idea what's going on. Okay? Hold it. I didn't say open Chromebooks or talk. So you're going to take that sentence and you're going to rewrite it and explain it. And it probably will take multiple sentences. Here are the rules. 3s. Look up here, 3s. And this is the rule for everybody. You may not use any word that's in your sentence with the following exceptions. You may use articles like a, and, or the. And 3s, listen 3s because I'm talking to you. You may use the words electric, magnetic, and magnetic. You may use those 2 words. Okay? Otherwise, you can't use any of the words that are in that sentence. Okay, 4s, you need to listen. You may not use any of the words in this sentence with the exception of articles, a, and, or the. And you may use the words gravitational, and you may use the word mass or masses. 5s, you may not use any words in this sentence. Now don't think that the answer is to look up a thesaurus version of all these and replace them. That's not going to work, I promise you. Yeah. You may not use any words in this sentence except for a, and, the, that, articles, things like that. You may also use fields and forces. Okay? So, is everybody clear on the instructions? Open your Chromebooks. Make and share a document. Go to this NGSS. You may move around your tables now. Listen. Got one more instruction. In 15 minutes, you're going to share out what you did. We're going to let you struggle a little bit for 15 minutes.
What's this?
So, go.
I can do it. This is what we're going to do. If you see your good map, do it. All right.
What?
What was his all over?
I'll take it.
No, it's Francisco.
You have a paper.
Look, he just threw it on. I shared it.
Not really.
I shared it. It was
Francisco,
Yes.
I mean,
get to work. I know you didn't throw nothing. You threw something. This ball. Stop.
I didn't throw it. I never even touched it.
In a minute, you can go discuss this with Mr. House if you would like.
It's true. Didn't you teach us that you never touched it?
Would you like to go talk to Mr. House, or would you like to do your assignment? That's your choices right now. Do your assignment.
no, I shared it.
And regardless if you're arguing about magnetic interactive fields, which you're trying to make, we still call that throwing.
Alright, so you found the NGSS, and you got a Google Doc of your number.
Number 3, but where do we go?
So Google NGSS, Motion and Forces. Click the first one, and you should have the page that looked like what he had up there. Okay, so then copy and paste what's in black for number 3.
Motion is that's it. Well, let me see. One as Newton's law, that's it. NGSS.
What do we search up?
NGSS.
I did not make that.
Come with me.
I didn't make that. I picked it off the
Come
ground.
on.
God, this is made.
I'll be back.
No, that's not. you're with, go where?
Is it the one that's in our movie? What should the name be? Should it be called
You could just call it NJSS practice. So if he's already with us, then it's not sure. Oh, you're right.
What page is that on?
Yeah, what's since it's in black?
Oh, it's NGSS.
What page is that? The first page. Copy and paste it into our thing then.
We're number 5, guys.
Yes, shot.
Create field.
Take off like no. It says all there on here.
That's the how you spell it.
Alright, guys. Everyone can edit their
Okay, don't follow the track.
Golden lemon.
I want you to It's not a challenge of so I want to not say anything
Yeah, whatever I said. Like that. That's what I was going to cheat. Hey, that was a chick.
Okay, how you guys coming? I'll take away your mustard. Create an experience. Okay, look, you guys are falling into the same trap. This is not, the goal of this is not to, you're lucky you didn't miss it. Oh wait, your goal is not to just replace the words with other words that mean the same thing in the same way. The goal is to explain that sentence to someone. It shouldn't sound anything like the current sentence, but it should still explain the same information. Okay? You can reorder the words, you can reorder what thing you want to explain first. In fact, you're probably better off in okay? So change things up.
And it's spelled there, so it's not the spell. Not spelled near.
You don't need to do the clarification statement. Clear on that. Just the stuff in black. Just the stuff in black. Okay, you're falling in the same trap as everybody else. The job is not to just replace this with a new sentence in the same order. The job is to explain what it says. You probably need multiple sentences. You don't have to do it in the same order that it's in right now. Okay, change the order. What's the most important? What do you think the most important things in that sentence What are the most confusing things to a sixth grader that they wouldn't understand? Okay, electric and magnetic forces. So that might be where you start. Start by explaining, okay, there are these things. This is what they are, okay? And this is what electricity kind of is, and this is what magnetism kind of is. And if you don't totally understand what that stuff is, your job is to go find out. Make sure you do understand and then explain it. And then go, okay, now that you know that that's what those things are, here's what I want you to do. Okay, you're supposed to ask blah, 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 okay? But you don't have to keep it the same order. If you keep it in the same order, you're going to end up just replacing each word with another word, and then it gets more confusing, not less confusing. Our goal is to make it less confusing. Explain it in simple terms, okay? It should not sound sciencey. It should not sound educated. It should just sound like you're explaining food. Okay, you guys are coming into the same. Okay, so you're stuck. She got you.
Are you explaining if you're showing something, are you explaining it really, really well?
Four minutes, and we're going to share our results.
Your evidence, are you explaining it really, really well? Or are you just... So that's what evidence is for. You should not make it sound sciencey. The goal is you're talking to a sixth grader. You're talking to a sixth grader. Make sure they totally understand what they're supposed to do.
That makes no sense.
Well, I haven't finished the sentence.
Just that electric forces, which is electric forces are blank, 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 blank,
That's the whole point of this exercise, is to do it differently. Just drink out a bottle of water. Taking capfuls of water. I don't believe that.
You know they can tell me.
Okay, 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes, and we're going to share out what we did. 2.5 minutes, we're going to share out what we did.
Okay, we have 2 forces, one of them is power. Want me to put that? No. What? You want me to explain what it is.
That is
Well, it's only correct if I do like it. What's up?
You can only say.
Okay, falling into the same trap as everybody else. You're trying to explain it in the same order as everything. Abandon that. Yeah, but
Say the point and then say the
I get that, but I want you to abandon that. Tell me about. Okay, the first thing I want you to tell me about is, okay, so there's these things. I'm a 5th grader. What's a gravitational interaction? Tell me what that is. No, I'm just asking. What is that? That's the most important part of this, is that gravitational interaction part. That's what this whole sentence is about. Don't just replace. What I want you to do. Right. That's your challenge. That's the point. That's what I was trying to get you. So.
I don't know what force is. You can
Yeah, I know. You just use it as words. That's exactly what I don't want you to do. I know, but I don't want you to just replace words. That's not the goal. The goal is for you to explain it. I get that. I can't give you the answer because it wasn't explained. It's okay. There's no way anybody's going to get it right the first time anyway, so don't worry about that. Okay, quiet down, please. We're out of time. So, freeze. Raise your hands. No, don't shout. Just raise your hand. Logan, let me explain something to you. Raising your hand means putting your hand in the air. It doesn't involve making a noise. Okay? All right, threes. I'm going to read it first. And you're going to tell me your more easy to understand explanation, okay? Here we go. Ask questions about data to determine the factors that affect the strength of electric and magnetic forces. Everybody else quiet. You need to pick somebody at your table who has a strong voice, who's not scared to say it out loud. And you're going to read this out loud to the whole class. First table of threes right here. What do you got for me? One of you, pick somebody. Louder.
You have to figure out the reasons to why the power of electric and magnetic pushes and pulls vary. You have to think about the information in detail and find the causes of the its power.
Okay, you gotta be louder and say it again because the people next door are being really loud and I can't hear you. Louder. You can stand up. Use your stage voice. Turn and face us. Pick up your computer and turn and face us.
sounds great.
Everybody else shush.
You have to figure out the reasons to why the power of electric and magnetic pushes and pulls vary. You have to think about the information in detail and find the causes of the tweak in its power.
Okay, read the first part again.
You have to figure out the reasons to why the power of electric and magnetic pushes and pulls vary.
You have to figure out the reasons for why the power of magnetic and pushes and pulls vary. Is that what you said? What part of the sentence is that about? This is actually a pretty good one, by the way. Okay, so their group started with this end of it. Okay, you have to figure out the reason. Say it again.
The reasons to why the power of electric and magnetic pushes and pulls vary.
Okay, so this thing, factors that affect the strength of electric and magnetic forces. Well, a force is a push and a pull. I told them they could use electric and magnetic. And you have to figure out, okay, that doesn't sound super sciencey. That sounds like something you would explain. This is actually on par with one of the best ones we had last period. Only one person had a decent one. Okay, good. And then you go to the next sentence, which is, next sentence, Sandra.
You have to think about the information in detail to find the causes.
Okay, the information is the data. To find the causes, that's the factors. Keep going. Of the what? The tweak in its power. That part I don't understand as much, but still, that's the direction I want you to go. Very good. Give them here. Okay. Is this a 3? Okay, well wait till we get 4 stuff. We're doing 3s right now. Oh yeah.
We're not done.
Well, tell me what you got. Listen. Stop talking, gentlemen. Go ahead, ladies. One of you.
I believe Zoe wanted to share.
One of you share, because you should have picked somebody by now. Come on. There's no right or wrong. Don't worry about it.
To start off, an electric force is one of the most powerful fundamental forces in the universe. It's an electric field.
Okay, hold it.
You overshot that one.
Yeah, you overshot that one. That's a good way to say it, Jerry. To start out, a magnetic force is one of the most powerful fundamental forces in the universe. Would you really say that to a friend if you were explaining this?
Yeah.
And to a 6th grader?
Yeah, I would.
You would say, to start out, Jerry, the magnetic force is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. It's a fundamental force. One of the 4 fundamental forces, of which there are magnetism, electromagnetism, gravity, the strong nuclear force, and the weak nuclear force. You know, of course, about this already, Jerry. Okay, look, too highfalutin. Good start, though. Good try. Look, hold on. Here's what I'll say.
I don't know why you're laughing, Jeremy.
Read that from the beginning again. Everybody listen. Read that from the
But I
beginning.
just erased it.
Well, hit
No,
undo
don't
button.
erase it. Hit
There's a
undo.
little back punch.
Hit undo. Don't get knocked down because I say something bad. Keep it. Say it again, because this is what I do want to say something about what you did. Read the whole thing.
To start off, an electric force is one of the most powerful fundamental forces in the universe.
Keep going.
That's all.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
Okay, look.
I believe there was more.
Even though that's not to the point where we need to be, that start is 10 times better than almost any of these that I got. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You started out explaining, okay? So, that's why you shouldn't erase just because I give you a little bit of, pushback. Okay? A little bit of what? A little bit of pow. Like pow? Pow? Okay, just because I give you a little bit of pow doesn't mean quit. Keep that and then rewrite it again. Good start. 3s.